One of the most popular disabled characters when we think about good representation is Toph Beifong from Avatar: The Last Airbender. She's a fan favorite and for good reason. She's a kick-ass character who takes no one's shit and is an amazing bender to top it off.
Everyone into the hole!
It's so dark down here. I can't see a thing.
Oh no, what a nightmare!
But when we think about other disabled characters in animation, and moreover, other women, there's a bit of a blank. In recent media, we can think of Entrapta from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power as an autistic woman, but even though the showrunner N.D. Stevenson confirmed the character to have ASD, it's never explicitly mentioned in the show. Which led me to the thought of Disney. Because as a huge juggernaut of a company, they can't not have at least some disability representation. And there it is. Lo and behold, on the Disney Wiki is a list of minor side characters you've never heard of, among some scattered recognizable faces that make you think, what is their disability? I didn't think they had one. And among these was Ariel, who, at first glance, I really thought they'd say her disability was being a mermaid, given the flimsy nature of some of the other explanations. And then I remembered the plot of the movie, and the fact that Ariel spends a good chunk of it mute. How is this something that's overlooked so easily? I mean, I wasn't the only one who forgot about that aspect of her character. So how are these three women different? And how do they give us an idea of disability representation for women in animation? Starting with the most obvious aspect of representation is just that, representation. What's actually in the show about them being disabled. Toph excels by a landslide here.
There it is! That's what it will sound like when one of you spots it.
The show talks about how her blindness affects her in a lot of different aspects, from the way people treat her, to the mobility barriers she faces, to even making blind jokes. Even Entrapta has some success here, although it's never as explicitly stated like Toph. She often misses social cues and the gravity of situations and is deeply invested in your special interests. The characters around her have reactions to her behavior and learn to accept her for who she is, which is all well and good until you think about the fact that the show is essentially othering Entrapta as someone those characters accept, but will never understand. And without actually naming her disability in the show, there will never be that full context and understanding.
No doubt as a result of the other elemental runestones. Translate.
Like Entrapta, Ariel's disability is never fully acknowledged by the movie. Her muteness is seen as more of an inconvenience by both her and those around her than a true disability. It's a plot device and hurdle she has to overcome rather than an aspect of her character. But why is this a problem? Why does it matter if the movie explicitly tells us that Ariel is disabled? Well, it's because the characters around her exhibit both ableism and sexism. But the movie glosses over it. And with glossing over it, you're telling young girls that that's how they should expect to be treated. The characters around her treat her as if she needs to be cared for and pitied. On the other end of the spectrum, Toph's character tackles femininity and disability, and very specifically her feelings around being perceived as helpless.
You're so strong and confident and self-assured. And I know it doesn't matter, but you're really pretty.
I am?
Yeah, you are.
Ultimately, I have none of the disabilities mentioned in this video, so I cannot say whether or not any of these representations feel adequate. But I am a disabled woman, and as someone who didn't know I was neurodivergent until much later in life, I think being blatant and honest in these representations would have helped me a lot more as a kid, and I hope that's where the trend in media is going.